Hello, what's up? Hey! I don't know why I just yelled that. It's episode 24 of the Bloodshot Eyes and Sore Thumbs podcast. Not only hello, but thank you for joining us. Hey, how y'all doing today? Speaking of us, what's going on, fellas?
Hello.
You know, living the dream.
Dreaming to live. Introductions are in order. The we consists of the Eagle, that's Scott.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
He is the best Eagle alive. And then we have Brent, as always.
Hello, or sometimes also referred to as the Old Crow.
The OC.
And you got to say
The
the
OC.
if you like. You're saying you're from the Ohio State University.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Duly noted.
Loaded words where we're at. But honestly, that started happening to him in public, too. I've heard him referred to as Old Crow a couple times now, and you're welcome for the X-Man name.
Thanks. What's my power? Like sweating out bourbon?
I don't know. That's up to you. Crippling anxiety. And I am Best Jacob Alive. Best Jacob Alive 2 on Xbox. I am Jacob. That is me. And we have a very special friend on this show that's coming to sit with us, have some fun. We have published author and mother to a real-life edgy eagle. It's Nancy.
Hello, boys.
Hello.
That's right.
She
That
went
is Eagle Mom.
Full Mary Poppins right there.
A spoonful of
Oh,
sugar.
man. Nice. Yes, that is Nancy. And she's going to be joining us. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about some King's Quest a little bit later. If you have just stumbled upon us or lost a bet or for whatever reason you are listening to us for the first time, let me tell you before we start that we party up every week and talk mostly gaming. But, like tech and rad stuff bleeds in sometimes. Sometimes news, sometimes reviews, all the times cool dudes. What'd y'all think about that? I thought of that in the shower. I was like...
Is that
bumping
Bit
some
Papa coming
Outcasts
back?
and just no, dude, Flometheus, because I bring the fire.
That's right.
Anyway, this week we will be tossing around some news on PlayerUnknown Battle as first-person servers. And Tacoma was just released, and Nancy, the streamin' eagle, as the internet should call her, we'll be talking about King's Quest.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Should be some fun. We've been checking out the remake past few months, playing through that. So we're gonna chit chat a little bit about that.
Wonderful game. Wonderful game.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Dating all the way back to primordial PC times.
Hey,
But,
we have evolved with the times, sir.
Have we ever?
I don't like the way you say we. It makes me feel like if I needed help and I talked to a PC person, you wouldn't help me. Or something like that.
No, just know that we're out there, man. We're listening.
It is with the wheeze.
I feel like you're describing like Jedi. Yeah. We're always watching.
Well, what the PC Wii is out there doing apparently lately is a whole lot of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and Brent's a lot better equipped to talk to us about the big news that just happened in that world.
The only thing I've been doing is playing PUBG, other than sleeping and being at the balloon animal deflating facility. Is that
Deflating the
you
long
just
hours.
killing kids' dreams?
No, after the kids are done playing with them, they, ship them into us. We deflate
you're
them.
like
Glad to see that
recycling
clown
plant.
college education can be applied to a job out there.
Yeah, then we resell it to the street clowns.
Yeah. I thought it was the old spam packing cannery.
Well, so what's going down
all right,
in PUBG,
PlayerUnknown
man? I
Battlegrounds.
heard there's
Let's-
first-person
let's
servers
get it
coming
rolling.
in. What's going on in this world?
All right, yeah. So
And
there
this
is
is
a
crazy.
monthly update, and they introduced the first-person servers. So instead of having the third-person view, only first-person. And people have been going wild over it. I've had a pretty good time for the most part. Honestly, myself, I find that I'm playing the third-person servers more. But yeah, it definitely shakes things up without being able to
Brent.
look around and gather all the
Brent.
other information.
Hey, dude, I don't want to derail you, bud, but, like, can we run down just first person, third person real quick? Nobody eye roll me, but just in case out there we can see, like, because this is a very distinct difference in how you can approach this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So first person is, like, the camera view is coming out of your eyes.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
But then third person, the camera kind of floats behind you and above you. So you're actually looking at your body instead of looking through your eyes.
GoldenEye versus Grand Theft Auto.
Exactly.
There you
but
go.
Grand Theft Auto 5 now has first-person view as well. But
and it's rad, but I
yeah.
get vertigo super bad.
Yeah,
Like Lucille
it is
too.
strange. But yeah, so that's a big update. I will say there was a decent amount of lagging issues at first for like the first 10 minutes. I don't know what's up with that. I'm pretty sure they've updated it and they've fixed all that. But yeah, man, it's really intense. And like when you're just looking through your eyes in first person, you can't gather all that other information around you. So it's really, really nerve-wracking, like when you're going into buildings or you're looting and you can't like 360 look around you while, somebody else sneaks up on you. So
I was trying to pick your brain about it, but I guess we were in the middle of the rush. There were a lot of balloon lightsabers that needed to be twisted up at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll ask you again on the air. I was curious, like, how literal they take it as far as the different. I mean, I don't want to sound like a nerd about it or anything, but like if they're moving the perspective into your eyeballs, does that change around the audio at all? Because I know a lot of the game, like you have to every sensor that can be plugged into sensory whatever perception that can be plugged into it, you have to use, including the sound, very much the sound, so much so that like rain is a handicap.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh yeah, big time. Rain's a massive handicap.
So does the first person view like affect the sound and how you hear things, or
Honestly, no. Short answer, no. But I mean, if you're like in a third person server and you go from third person to first while like shooting, you can tell that the gun's closer to you. You know what I mean? And you can like if somebody is close, like running past you, you can tell you're closer to the ground, but it doesn't really change the gameplay as much. But I will say PUBG has awesome audio.
I've
really
watched a
captivating.
good amount this week of some of the streamers checking out the new first person mode, and one of the things that I keep on noticing, the same thing happening over and over again, is without the camera advantage of being able to see your peripherals and what's around you and around corners, I'm seeing a lot more people like bump into each other. Open a door to a house and there's somebody in there because they didn't see him enter the other side. So a lot more like surprise gunfights, and it's leading to some pretty good like jump scare montages.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I actually ran into anybody when I've been playing, but people have definitely ran right past me because they just didn't see me. I'm just standing on a rock, and I just see them, running 30 feet in front of me. And, you kind of get startled because you're seeing somebody for the first time. But, yeah, and a few times I have been shot at, and then, I'll get a little jump. It's really freaky, man. Like, seriously, your adrenaline's going, your nerves are through the roof. It's a game that really affects you, like physically affects you.
I mean, what do you think so far? I mean, is it rad? Like, do you think it's gonna stick?
Oh, for sure. I mean, people are obsessing over it, and for the most part, I've seen people. I don't want to say they'll play one over the other. I myself, I can speak for myself. I've been playing the third person more, but yeah, it's definitely gonna stick. It's I would say more for a hardcore audience, even though PUBG is kind of hardcore just in and of itself.
Yeah.
But to like really get inside the game, you want that first person only. I think it's gonna, I don't know, possibly, I don't see how like there could be like professionals play this, you know what I mean? Or like a server of all like the best PUBG players. That'd be kind of fun. But, I just think it's more for the hardcore that's trying to squeeze out everything that the game can offer people.
I just like.
Can I sneak in one more question?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah, game types in general and just variations.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a quick turn?
Yeah. So are you asking if you can turn your head and look past your shoulders?
180. Boom.
Yep.
Click it. You turn it.
Oh, quick turn. Like actually turn around 180 degrees.
Yep.
No.
Like Counter-Strike style.
Well, yeah, it's called a mouse. it's quick turn.
What?
No, but
What
you
does
mean
that
like
even mean? Whatever.
like Left
Why are
4
you
Dead
wearing
style, right?
sunglasses?
Like a 180
Put out that
button
cigarette. What does that even mean?
Yeah, no, there's not that. I mean, that's really in games where that
So
are.
what, do you like literally turn your mouse around on the table? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I just like rotate my mouse around. No, just like flick my
Just
wrist.
hold it backwards.
That's all it is.
Cool trick.
Yeah. No, there's not a quick turn button. No.
Just asking, bro.
That's fine. No, but there's not.
What other news do we have? We were talking about some processors.
Yeah, so for those who don't have a PC but are thinking of buying one to play PUBG, AMD has unveiled the Threadripper processors and their Vega video cards. And the big thing about these are kind of in line to compete with Intel's, I think it's Skylake. Is that Skylake X series of processors that they just came out with that are these are really high-end processors. Like the cheapest Threadripper, I believe, is $799, and the most expensive is going to be $999. That's very expensive, but these are really, really high-end processors for gaming and multitasking and things like that. And then their Vega line, I believe, starts at $499. Yep, and ends at $799 on the video cards. So if you want to build a really bitchin' PC, AMD's got your back. And honestly, this is not a lot cheaper, but kind of on the same lines, a little cheaper than Intel or graphics cards like GTXs from NVIDIA. So it's definitely shaking up the PC space right now.
Yeah, I remember you talking maybe a few weeks ago when this stuff was kind of first coming out into the news.
Mm-hmm.
And it really seemed like AMD had their sights set on Intel.
Yeah.
With the product starting to come out, do you think that that's very clear what they're doing?
I mean, yes, of course, because it's always been, Team Red or Team Blue, Intel or AMD. And Intel is definitely, you've seen them come out with things or, drop prices, have deals on Newegg or with like motherboards, things like that. So, I mean, it's definitely shaking things up and like Linus Tech Tips, it's a YouTube channel. He has an affiliate link so he can track people's Amazon usage that opt into that. And I think before AMD processors were like 3% of purchases, something like, maybe not that low, but it's up to like 15% from 3 over the course of like 2 months, with like Ryzen coming out, and that's kind of the lower end of the processors, and Threadripper's like the big dogs.
Well, that's definitely a big jump.
Mm-hmm.
Threadrippers.
Yeah.
Google it. Find out more about the Threadrippers, and if you find my Chippendale service, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. Be willing to spend a pretty penny though.
I'm sorry, dude.
Threadripper's the best name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's intense.
Like, why?
I don't know.
Yeah. Pretty petty indeed.
Yeah.
All right, so a little bit more news. We have it's the beginning of the month. Wake up. And we have the services giving out their respective games in their online spaces, whether it's PS Plus or Xbox Gold. So, which one should I read first? I kind of hit this. Let's go Xbox, because 2 games are pretty rad about this. Have y'all seen this so far?
Yeah, man.
Am I reading this right? Red Faction Armageddon, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
I never played it, but one thing I remember, didn't Sci-Fi Channel publish this, or at least invest in this game?
Whew. I'm not sure, man.
Red Faction?
Yeah, Red Faction. At least this title.
I don't know. I only played Red Faction Guerrilla, which was a fantastic game, by the way.
Wasn't Red Faction's hook like destructible environments?
In Guerrilla it was, yes.
Okay.
But I played a demo of Armageddon, and it seemed that they took some of that away, so I kind of strayed away from it.
Trials Fusion. And dang mang.
Should be
Dude,
called.
have you ever played Trials Fusion, Brent?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my goodness, it'll turn friends against each other.
Yeah.
I've been in an argument because of Trials Fusion.
Dude,
Yeah.
it'll turn you against yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Man, get that game. If you don't know what it is, I don't even want to go into explaining it. You got to figure it out. And if you're Xbox Live Gold and you've been living in Mars in a cave under a rock with hands over your eyes and hands over your ears if you have 4 hands and don't know what Trials Fusion is.
I did check out Bayonetta though this week.
And that's another free one, and that's a big deal too.
It
Platinum
is.
Games, bud.
Platinum Games was right.
Yeah.
I had really no idea what I was walking into with this game. I knew it's kind of like a cult classic. I know it's regarded pretty high. But man, I mean, talk about going some places. That is a weird game. I mean,
Yeah, I'm excited
heels
to jump
as
in.
guns, and my
Yeah.
clothes were doing a lot of fighting for me. That was just odd.
I mean, that's how Nier Automata plays. Rolls real fast like that.
Yeah,
You can definitely see
yeah.
it as a
I see the
see it deep
correlation.
down.
I haven't played Nier, actually sat down and played it. I've watched a good amount of it, and I can definitely see the Platinum Games thread running through that.
Yep.
Or should
I have Slime Rancher written down here too. Did you guys watch the video on this? Because I haven't played it, so I watched a little preview video on it.
No.
Yeah, I played it when it first came to the Xbox preview program. I think it was last year, I believe. But this Xbox Live Gold giveaway is kind of like its official launch, like it's coming out of early access. And it's a pretty fun game. I would definitely suggest checking it out. It's like you have a farm, and you kind of go out and explore this world and collect these slimes and bring them back to your farm. So kind of like a Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley type of thing.
But slime.
Yeah. Slimes all over the
Over
place.
in the Sony world, we have Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, and
What is that?
I don't know, dude. There are so many of them now. I really don't know. They lost me at 5, and yeah. But what else is interesting is on Sony you can get Just Cause 3. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Just Cause.
Just because,
I can't
man.
help myself. It's Just Cause 3. You are what is it, Rico Rodriguez?
Definitely.
And you have a grappling hook and a jean jacket and a mission.
You're not wrong at all.
And that is a great deal for free for all you PS Plus members out there. That game is a lot of fun.
And did you guys hear that the PlayStation subscription is going up $10 in Europe?
No.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was really strange too. They said because of the current climate. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's.
What is it, like too cold?
Yeah,
Too
I don't know.
rainy?
Too hot maybe. They got to pay their AC bill. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
We here
Yeah.
in Japan need jackets.
No, Europe,
Who
Eagle,
knows, man?
Europe.
Well, Sony's Japanese, but they know Europe's rich, so they're just dipping into those pockets a little more.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of dip into pockets, we're going to dip into another one here. A little bit more news that we have, and it's actually going to lead into our next topic here. If we're going to get her rolling, is Tacoma came out. I don't know if that's big news to anybody. It's kind of big news to me a little bit just because when I first saw this game a couple years ago, I was fond of it. I usually bite on the strange games pretty quick, the eccentric-looking ones.
Yeah, and this is from the Fulbright Company, which is the guys that did Gone Home. If you're familiar
Yep.
with that one, what was that? A few years ago it came out.
Yep.
Kind of the walking simulator through the house,
Yeah.
learning about a girl.
And I haven't played it. So to expand on what Tacoma is, have y'all heard of Gone Home?
Yeah.
Because if you haven't, go on and Google it because I'm about to.
It's
in a sense,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you've brought it up once or twice because Brent continues to try to get us to do Firewatch, which I really want to do. I just have a lot on my plate at the moment.
Yeah.
And
I think that'd be a good one.
I like little games like that. But the news is at an unfortunate side, but we're gonna try and flip it around a little bit after we say what's going on. It came out. It's on PC, PS4, and Xbox. But at least in the Xbox world, there's a big problem, and this is a pretty fresh. I don't know how many people know about it just yet. But as I was browsing it, I started to see a lot of poor reviews saying there's a huge start screen bug. People can't get into the game. And I hope they patch it soon because it's starting to affect the star-based rating on the Xbox Marketplace.
Yeah,
And,
that's too bad. Launch day bugs are, tough. You hope you can sort them out, but something as big as not even be able to start the game is, that should be emergency, all hands on deck, if you ask me. And it might be.
Poor Fulbright, the game's already been kind of pushed back a little bit, as
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
And stars may seem fickle, but I mean, I don't know. I may be wrong. Who knows? I'm only human 2.0, with heightened senses and undepleting strength and raw sensual prowess. But I put on my pants 2.0 one leg at a time, and sometimes I can jump to conclusions based on a 5-star rating system. Which is why we request so much of these awesome listeners to rate and review our show. Speaking of which.
Even
But
for a game like Tacoma, that's arguably a fairly small game. It's not a AAA game that has the marketing budget of a Halo or Gears of War franchise or something like that. So the optics on this game are really important. Having 2.5 stars on a marketplace it's like a nail in the coffin for some games.
It sucks because at least in the Xbox world, they're sitting at 3 right now. And as of this recording, an hour before this recording, they're currently sitting at 41-star votes to their 37 5-star.
It's a shame because the game seems to be pretty good. It's got good critical reviews. Outside of the small bug reports that are inhibiting some people from even getting in the game.
Yeah, and we can kind of help out a little bit with that. I mean, I don't know if it's really I don't know a whole lot about the game. I'm waiting until that subsides before I scoop it and I read news that the bug is patched and all that. But I figured we'd give it a fair swing too and just kind of, have you guys heard a lot about Tacoma? I've looked into it just a little bit, and it's not. What's a good way to put it? Exploration game. Kind of like The Witness, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seems like...
Now, wrap your heads around this. You're playing a person who's playing with VR goggles, right? Am I right?
But can you play this game with VR goggles?
Yeah.
Because
No.
that'd be
Take
Inception.
the blue pill on that one. Actually, I don't know. I wish
not.
I had.
No.
No, confirmed.
Your head would explode.
Yeah.
Need a little bit more percentage of your brain used to handle that one. But the deal is it's kind of leaving me at the moment a good comparison. But as far as what I've seen before, but you're in a creepy. As far as what I've seen, you're in a creepy, eerie, spooky, empty space station. You got to figure out what happened, and using this AR apparatus, you're able to track people's movements, either by seeing what's going on in a room, maybe follow people around in their different regions of this area. And pretty much, if I could say 2 games, like if Turing Test and Sexy Brutale had a baby,
Yeah.
pretty much right up there, because it's the same concept. You can choose to follow people around all day just to figure out what happened, but you have to kind of find the right paths based on clues to figure out key codes, how to turn something on, how to turn something off in order to progress to the different areas of the ship. But that is based on, videos that I've watched and such. I could be totally wrong. We'll see when it comes out.
Yeah,
I want to buy it.
But to say it's not actually people. This space station is empty. These are kind of like projected holograms of past people.
Oh yeah, was I not clear about that? I'm sorry if I just skimmed over that.
If you were,
Yeah,
just
it is.
to reiterate.
Yeah, it's the AI of the space station is, kind of projecting these holograms for you to, I haven't played, but from what I've watched, it seems like you're some sort of, investigator to check out this spooky creepy space station that's been abandoned, or something has happened. But it seems like the whole big mechanical hook to the game is this like kind of VCR, like DVD style controls, of like being able to pause, fast forward, and rewind the events of the ship. So it seems like you'll go and listen to a conversation, and as the two people walk away, you'll follow one to kind of see where he goes and what he does. And then you can rewind time in the whole conversation to go follow the other guy and see what he does.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like reliving the same, small chunk of time, just following the different paths.
Yeah. It seems really interesting.
It does. It's kind of like almost like the Batman detective vision almost. Like kind of
yeah.
running back to scene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say this with I'm not saying this unfortunately, but I mean that's really what there is to it. The charm of it is the story. It's a $20 game. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We know how that goes. Nancy, have you seen anything on Tacoma at all?
Actually, I have. Yeah, I was very impressed with. I just got a little glimpse of it, that they were different colors, which was kind of fun to follow. And they were kind of skeletal, which was kind of interesting. I could see more of them, kind of like I were the MRI, kind of looking through who they really were to what they're really made of. Interesting.
Yeah.
But that's all I know.
Yeah.
I would love to investigate further.
X-ray vision, indeed. And so yeah, I mean, check out Tacoma. $20, Steam,
Or
PlayStation Network, Xbox Store.
Maybe wait a second for Xbox.
Yeah. Like I said, I wish I had a little bit more to report, but it is news, and I don't want to just say bad news about this game because I really do think it could be rad.
Yeah, but it
Super duper.
You could take a risk because it seems to not be happening to everyone on Xbox. So
Yeah, based on what I've found, the PC folk and the PlayStation 4 folk
seem
are
to be
really having a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that they
I
get
checked out
things
Fortnite.
back up.
I checked out Fortnite, boys.
Fortnite,
I know we
yeah.
talked a little bit about it last week, but
Yeah.
I just want to say that I downloaded this game and it was a lot of fun. It ate up 3 hours.
Did you play with Eagle?
Yeah, sure did.
Nice.
Yeah, we built him a little wooden base and held
Ooh.
off some zombies. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and it's actually a lot of fun to play. A
Yeah.
little zombied out, but pretty cool.
Yeah,
And,
I've put some more time into it this week. Not to talk too much about it, but it seems to just be getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Just the more you peel back on it, it seems like the late game and the end game kind of loop seems to be set pretty good. So, I'm excited to put more time into it and kind of push the limits and see what kind of base I can build and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a familiar concept, tower defense, but the pacing is just so good on it. You don't really notice that you're doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I shouldn't say it like that, but I don't know. It's interesting. Definitely a different take, and that is a beta you can buy and get involved with now. If you watch the videos and you're into this kind of thing, I suggest you scoop it. Just because if you pay the money early, you get tons of supplies. I'm sure Scott said this last week. Tons of supplies because that's probably going to be all premium stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once
I think
it's
the
released
value is
to the
going to be there.
Build some forts. Make them right.
Survive the night.
All right, boys. While we have the streaming eagle, a little bit of backstory here. A couple weeks ago, while I was out of town that same week, the Eagle was telling me that him and Eagle Mom were getting on old King's Quest and streaming and had a really good time. And King's Quest is something that was around in my family when I was younger, so it seemed almost natural to just come on the show. So thanks a lot for joining us, Nancy.
Oh, it is my high privilege I listen to this every week, and I love what you guys talk about. I love who you are. It is so much fun. And now here it is, my moment. I'm delighted. Thanks for inviting me.
It's no problem. Pleasure's all on this side of the table. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And just a couple things. Nancy is a published author. Talk to us a little bit about that real quick.
Oh, well, okay. I published a book in February of this year, and it's called Five Drops. And you can reach it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Xulon, Xulon, the publisher. And it's it's about 215 pages, and it's kind of a legacy of my favorite stories over the years. I've got 55 little stories in there. Some are humorous, some are convicting, some are they're all just kind of all over the place, kind of like me. And, but they're so we don't forget, because oftentimes if you don't write down stories, my mom and dad are both gone, and so when they're gone, the stories end unless they've been told forward. So this is was kind of a joy to write it down. It was a discipline that was tough, but to sit down every week, and after a year on Mondays, it was ready to go. So.
Well, it's an interesting, thought of, chronicling the history, right? Because just like you said, when people pass and, time moves on, things are lost.
Yeah.
We deal a lot with video games here on the show, and that's a common thing that happens, as consoles get retired, as games get replaced by sequels. Some of this stuff is lost to time. And, this week we're going to talk a little bit about King's Quest, and, that is a game that has a, long and storied history that, to be quite honest, is trapped on, old PC hardware and archaic design. And, that's something cool to see, like a company like Activision buy the rights to all this stuff, put in some work, put out a real polished, remake of this game, to let people like us who enjoyed the older games enjoy it with a new modern touch and, able to run on modern hardware.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good point, too. And we're going to do the rundown on where to find that again at the end of the show, but I just wanted to introduce Nancy formally. That's a good point you talk about with Activision picking up the rights, so to speak. They all bought Sierra Games, if my research serves me correctly. And, you're what you were saying, arcane technology, buried in history. Man, this game company is old. They've been doing it for a long time, since 1979.
That's impressive.
So, before we get into the remake, one of the major reasons I wanted to talk to Nancy and have everybody on here is Eagle's telling me that not only have they been playing the King's Quest reboot, they told me that they have a shared memory of one that I had as well, is playing with my mom the King's Quest PC games back on the floppy disks, where you had to read the spells in the instruction manual and then put them in the game and stuff, and just really had to work for it.
Yep.
And and I just thought it was really funny to hear somebody else had those same types of experiences. I only played 4 and 5, the Perils of Rosella, and then the fifth one. What was it called? Absence Makes the Heart Go Yonder, I guess.
The 90s were sure like a punny time.
Yeah.
My goodness. Man, we had fun with these. For people that aren't familiar, I'm sure Sierra made a bunch of other games. I didn't want to have just a big Wikipedia on Sierra games for a podcast, so it's kind of touch and go where it's relevant as far as info from them. What I truly remember are these just point-and-click type of adventures that you kind of had to think a little abstractly with stuff, though that wasn't the point of the game necessarily. It wasn't really a puzzler. It's just, man, it's really hard to explain. How would you explain it? Like panels, stagnant camera, and you kind of work your way through screens from scene to scene, and you have to get certain items to do certain things. What do you think, Eagle? Like, I'm kind of hitting a wall here.
Yeah, the old school point and click adventure game it's one of those things. If you see it and you've experienced it, you know exactly what it is, but it's tough to put into words. Like the old King's Quest games and Torrens Passage and even like the old Diablo and like Curse of Monkey Island games.
Oh boy.
You scroll across the screen and really the way we did it was just click on everything until you pick up items, and then it's like you have a stick in your inventory and you take that stick and you try it on the bucket, and then you try it on the door, and you try it on the stairs, and finally you give it to the dog, and the dog runs outside and gets you an apple, and which you can give the apple to the shopkeeper to give you a coin, and it's just this,
And you've gone cross-eyed.
yes.
But again, you have to realize before it was modern like it is now, that's all we knew. That's all we had, and that's all we knew. So it was, what is the next stream of consciousness is to try to get something, to get all the things that we could, all the supplies that we could, and we'll figure that stuff out later. Get them now.
Yeah.
Think later.
And
They left a lasting impression on me. King's Quest V had this desert map where it was a maze. And if you went too far in the wrong direction, a scorpion would run up and bite you and you'd die. And to this day, I hate everything maze related. Everything maze related, like in a video game, period. I've never actually found myself in a full-size maze, but I'm sure I probably wouldn't like that either.
Your relationship with scorpions is still pretty good, though?
Real recognize real.
Fair enough.
Well, when we were kind of talking about the show this week, and reminiscing about some of the games that we'd played, and some of the fun memories about the bitter nuts in Torrens Passage.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Just these small characters that you come across, which I feel like is one of the hallmarks of the adventure game genre is
the memories.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the quirky characters that you come across, or the really obtuse solution to the puzzle, that you had to look up in a guide to even understand the rules. And I feel like that's something that we lose in modern games, with modern games being developed to be really accessible to all sorts of people. And these games back in the 90s and early 2000s and stuff were just soul crushingly difficult.
No YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe YouTube, if YouTube at all.
Well, like, how was it when we played Myst for the first time, Mom?
It was the worst. Okay, it was the absolute worst game. It was the most frustrating of games because I didn't know why I was there. What is this island? Who am I? And what am I trying to do? And there was no explanation.
The Blue Pages.
The Blue Pages. Yeah, Cirrus. And it was just
Cirrus and Aguiar. That's all I remember
worst.
from that game.
And they were just totally frustrating. And again, this is before this poor kid had a memory card. So you had to do the same thing over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
It was the worst. So Christmas, he said, I really want a memory card. Well, I don't know what that is. So I gave it to him, and Christmas morning it was like, oh, this is the best thing ever. I had no idea how hard that kid worked because he kept losing every single game and had to restart it. Horrible. But he got faster and faster and better because he didn't want to take 8 hours. He wanted to accomplish it in 3.
That's how you breed a speedrunner.
That's going to be our version of the 10 miles uphill in the snow story.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
Run down.
But also some of the phrases from decades ago, we still, from Amazon Trail, the one that says, "Blast! I can't reach it." They're on the side of the slippery slope, and we still don't we, Scotty? All the time. Yeah. And that is, from the Jaguar, from the Inca King, we have to get the cinchona. Those kinds of things are just relics, and they're decades old, but they're so much fun to still play with. Good memories.
Now, is Amazon Trail like a sequel, or dare I say prequel, to the hit sensation Oregon Trail?
It's part of that same. Yeah, it's part of. I think Oregon came first, perhaps, and then a very
Oregon was a state way before the Amazon was there.
Correct.
Yeah, you
Right.
Totally.
We started going global. That's right.
You could definitely die of dysentery. They kept that
Oh
one
man,
strong.
that game makes me so mad.
And it was.
We weren't allowed to play it until we got all of our classwork
That's
done.
right.
And not only did the girl that sat next to me always get her classwork done, but she would always be able to get a good run in.
See.
And it made me so upset because even if I got time to do Oregon Trail, dysentery.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that was like our daughter Becky and Scotty used to play together oftentimes, and Becky would say, she'd stab fish after fish after fish on the Amazon Trail, and she'd put them in her boat because what should we do with this is what that question always was with the South American accent. What should we do with this? And it was like, okay, put it in the boat. I want to keep all this fish, and then the boat sinks. It's like, oh my goodness. Oh goodness.
Little did we know our introduction with
Dark
RNG
Souls,
would be
you
so
think games
strong.
are hard now.
Yep. But anyway, good memories, great memories.
Great memories indeed, ones that Activision have been trying to reignite, because King's Quest has been, I won't say rebooted, but, packaged different ways, all the way from floppy disk to a Nintendo release even.
Mm-hmm.
And 7 entries overall in the King's Quest series, and now, not including this reboot that's out right now. It's episodic, and it's got a whole new paint job to it, I guess you would call.
Yeah.
New approach to it. And I don't think I haven't played it all the way through. I've only seen streams of the first episode, but it's not really retelling the stories, but just kind of touching on some stuff from the old ones.
Yeah, a lot of the King's Quest games kind of share the same story line, if you will, kind of like a Zelda, right? You kind of know what you're getting into when you start the game. It's going to be a coming-of-age tale, of someone kind of finding their way. Now, they shook up the format every now and then, but, that was kind of the MO of King's Quest. And this remake from Activision, just first of all, as far as like an art style and, look, I truly feel like they knocked it out of the park, as far as like kind of the hand-drawn, like watercolor-esque, art style that I think kind of blends the old, 80s and 90s games with modern technology really well.
Yep.
Without going for the full like photorealistic like Horizon Zero Dawn, rendering. Which, it's still kind of the same kind of gameplay. Walk around the screen, pick up things, adventure game style, just like we explained earlier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, modern day, processing power can make animation look pretty compelling now to younger folks too, which, this is a family-friendly game.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. And I know we spoke about Zelda for a second. Don't think it's Zelda, though, because you're not swinging a sword.
No.
Dude, yeah, it's not like that. It's more like click on the items, keep your inventory with you, solve inventory-based riddles.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all were streaming it, right?
We were.
Yeah, we sure did. We had finished up episode 1, and we jumped into episode 2, so we started up the stream on that. Had a blast.
We did.
Some of our characters died because we're really bad at those kind of games. It's one of those games that could probably still be lent to playing with a guide, which is kind of an, like we were talking about, archaic act, to buy a guide and the game and go home together.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
That's how these games, my parents were the ones that bought them. They didn't buy them for me or my little brother.
Oh.
Yeah.
They bought it for themselves, and they, the whole gigantic boxes for the floppy disk and 20 megabytes. Are you kidding? I don't have that much storage space.
What is this, NASA?
$70, 1993 money.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we bought that Sim City. Remember when that one came out? Sim, and it was too advanced. He was probably only 11 years old. And I just said, well, this is nice. This is the next progression from the Sim 2000 or whatever. And so we brought it home, and it didn't have enough storage for it. Plus, it was just returned the very next day. It just was absolutely too much. And I thought, if it had enough for me, like you say, with your folks keeping it, no, it was for Scotty, and it was too much for him, so we had to return that one, and that didn't go anywhere. So I'd like to maybe later in life now go and check that one out and see if it's something that would be decent today, but it was so not the one back then.
Well, you're in luck.
Your phone now.
The Sims 4 was just announced for Xbox.
Well,
Yep.
I'll be back over, son. That's great.
Let's make us some people.
Sims fans, I mean, they're probably in for a treat. That game is probably going to be packed.
Yeah.
You better hold on to the edge of your seat. um, but yeah, games with the guide. My parents would always be bougie like that and buy the video game and the game guide with it, and it would be like a big dramatic conversation. Do we go to the guide?
Yeah,
Right.
But-
I remember King's Quest V had a guide with a if you guys ever played the old school tabletop game, is it passcode with the red screen? You can only read things with the red screen.
Yeah, password.
Password.
Yeah.
Password. It had that, but you couldn't just open the book and read it. You had to get the little red viewfinder to be able
Yes.
to reveal
Right.
the hints that you needed. We would have debates about whether we go to that one or not.
Ugh.
And Myst, I remember Myst was tough.
Awful.
Myst was pretty tough, but it was so neat though because those people looked real.
I know.
Oh, that
Those people look
FMV
real.
video was so cool. I mean, like, full voiceover. They looked fully rendered and stuff. Like even today, you watch a cutscene on that, and it looks silly, but at the same time, it's like that was a huge jump from what games were doing before that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure I played Exile on the OG Xbox, and that by that time they were showing walking animations between the panels as you clicked forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then they didn't do that. You would just click which direction you went. But the backgrounds were always beautiful because they were static, so they could be full art renditions.
Yep.
And no processing will mess with that. I don't know if y'all had ever heard of another game that was very much like Myst, but my family was way into it. It was a game called The Seventh Guest,
No.
made by Trilobite.
No.
Oh my goodness! Everybody out there, look up The Seventh Guest. This game was so awesome. It's spooky. I have to now because I have such a big place in my heart for this. I'm gonna take 60 seconds and just try and cram it real quick. So there's a house built by this toy maker in this small town that everybody was mad suspicious of. Of course, the house is like supernatural and all that noise. So there's stuff going on in the house. 7 guests are invited. You're one of them. Something happened to the other 6. You're in the spooky house. You got to find out how. But guess what?
What?
It's 1991, and you have to click panel by panel and solve puzzles. And so, it's but at the time, it scared me so much, even though it's like totally not spooky. It's almost comical. But yeah, that's full motion video. You solve a puzzle in that room. You get Spectre full motion video interacting with the furniture and all this, and it was so cool looking. And, you go through these kind of, scary Halloweenish based puzzles, and you figure out the mystery all the way to the end.
Oh, Jacob, I'm going to have to look this one up.
Are you Googling it right now?
I'm watching gameplay right now.
Actually, I have
Seventh Guest is so rad.
I have a quote from Bill Gates,
Xbox.com.
and he called The Seventh Guest, quote, the new standard in interactive entertainment.
Well, there you go.
What?
There you go.
Bam, 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 bam. It had a sequel, The 11th Hour.
Oh.
That was double spooky
Really?
because they were taking themselves really seriously with that one.
I wonder if that's where 7-Eleven came from.
So,
Wow.
I say probably.
7th Guest, right in. Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Where
to go back to King's Quest, so how long is an episode? Typically, like how long does it take you to beat it?
Well, I think it depends a lot on your IQ.
Correct?
Purely subjective.
Okay, well, how long
with-
did it take you guys?
Okay,
This
well, we're
last one you
the
played.
bottom of the bell curve.
That's right.
So,
Okay.
what would you think? Maybe 10, 15 hours
That sounds about right.
on the first episode?
Well, we had to
Okay.
break for some goldfish crackers and some extra water or juice or something.
Fair enough.
Makes me sound 6 years old.
No, that was me. I was having the goldfish.
Oh, okay, good.
But yeah, probably 10 to 15. And
Yeah.
I get it. I really think it depends if we're not trying to get through it fast, we're trying to get through it enjoyably. And
Of
I think
course.
that's the real key is when you sit on the couch with your son, it's just time really doesn't matter and you're just exploring. And actually, I really like the slowness of looking at the graphics, looking at the people, listening. I mean, that's how I read a book, very slowly. But he would be to the nth degree if I were not in the room. He would be a little faster, I'm sure.
Well, to put it in like modern game terms. Like, we like to read all the codex entries.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like, we like to look at all the signposts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to read everything.
I do too. It's just because the whole
It's a
enhancing.
compulsion.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an itch.
Yeah. Because I know if someone wrote them, if someone developed this, I sure as heck want to know what they're wanting me to know. So.
Yeah.
Darn tootin'. I agree with you, Nancy.
Yep. Yep.
But to answer your question, Brent, yeah, the episodes have been really beefy. Like, they are, pretty long sets of content.
Yeah.
You do the standard adventure game thing of, like, backtracking through areas a lot.
Yeah.
Like a Metroid or Castlevania where you have a new power that allows you to cross a puzzle or a bridge or, something like that.
Right.
But I think they did a really good job of adding some modern touches, but still leaving some of the old, like, inventory management and, like, there's no quest log, right? If you forget what you're supposed to do, go talk to people until you remember, like, I'm supposed to go find the baker.
Right.
Right. Yep.
Give you that old-timey Daventry feel.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Have y'all played the other episodes?
We are, I believe, about done with episode 2, but we still have 3, 4, and 5 to go.
I don't want to run up in y'all's faces with a big old sign-up clipboard, but I think it would be really cool to have like a Streamin' Eagle Nancy Streams King's Quest V special.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. We will keep that in mind.
I think that would be cool, and we can just chronicle y'all's progression.
Yeah, I think that would be tons of fun.
That should be.
No need to say yes or no. Just think it over. You know how to find me.
We do. We do.
So, overachievers this week, speaking of being at the bottom of the bell curve, which I doubt that's where y'all are, but we can get a view of where other people are as far as this bell curve goes with the information that we find every week in overachievers.
Yeah, we love to judge people around here. That's a joke. I'm sorry.
You're good, bud.
We like data.
I got it. It's up there, and I got it. And I got it, bud.
Thanks, buddy. So yeah, each week we like to do a little segment called Overachievers, in which we take a look at a specific game, pull up either its trophies or achievements, and look at the rarity of it. So this week, to kind of stay on topic, we took a look at the remake of King's Quest on the Xbox One. And so in Overachievers, we like to look at the most common achievements and some of the rarest ones as well, to kind of see what people are up to out there unlocking these achievements. So to kick it off a little bit, we'll take a look at the most common achievement in King's Quest. Now, I'm sure you remember this one, Nancy. This is the achievement called That's the Ticket, and you get that for presenting an eye to enter the tournament.
Oh, yes, I do.
Now, standard adventure game format, getting an item, using it on something else to get another item, down that tree 50 times.
Yeah.
You'll get this eye, and that's kind of like your payment to get into the tournament. Now, this is where things get a little surprising to me, because this is story required. To continue on in the story, you have to do this. And it's only been unlocked by 28.28% of players.
What?
And how early in the game is it?
It's in the first episode, maybe about halfway.
First chapter, yeah.
So,
Wow.
It was difficult, though, if I remember correctly. It wasn't a give.
oh yeah, not at all.
It's
It's very obtuse.
So are the rest of the achievements going to be based on the third of people that made it through?
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
first part?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get low.
Yeah, it goes down from there.
It's like a Little's drawn track
But
over
it's
here.
fun, though, right, folks? It's fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's very
okay.
good. I do think it's very specific. Not everybody's going to like a game like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely built for a nostalgic trip. For someone who has experience with King's Quest or like adventure games in general.
And I would say someone who is on the persevering side of things. It's not for the faint of heart. I want a quick and I'm out of here. I think it's the one that's going to persevere through this. There are just the tenacious people that will do that.
Yeah, you're talking to two Dark Souls people right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they know what perseverance is.
Yeah.
Constitution of character.
Yeah. But noted. Fair point.
But yeah, it is kind of a tough one. But I will say, in King's Quest's defense, I do think that they gave the first episode away for free on like a winter sale or something this year.
Sure
so,
did, bud.
that will always skew the numbers lower because a lot of people
Yeah.
just download
Good
it to
point,
get the
yeah.
license.
Yeah.
So we'll give that in that defense. But so
That's a good point.
Yeah, that
moving
is
on
good
to
point.
the
I'm
next
glad you
one.
said that.
Yeah, we don't want to paint an unfair picture for it.
Correct.
Yeah. We never want to do that on this show. So that's really awesome that you got that going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next one that I remember real vividly is Fast Feather, and that is to defeat Whisper in a duel of speed.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Sounds
Now,
intense.
do you remember the duel of speed, Nancy?
Yes. It was the worst. Well, I mean,
There were two speeds. Oh, different duel. Oh, my
no,
bad.
they were dueling. Go ahead, Scotty. Tell them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
It was
Have the notes right here.
it was one of those like, if you ask me, really bad mini games in which it's all based on memory. So you have to keep failing until you remember the exact solution to it, which is just no fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But
like
anyways,
a mouse trying to get that cheese, huh?
oh yeah, you know it. But again, this is story specific and has only been completed by 19.67% of players. So
There's the descent.
dwindling down a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how long has King Quest,
Wh-
the new one, been out?
About a year.
Two-
A year. Okay, this
Yeah.
is disappointingly low. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, y'all. Y'all are letting Whisper have a high KD over here.
That's it.
And you would hate Whisper if you met him.
Oh, let me tell you, he is right.
Yeah. Whisper is something else.
Yeah, I know. Big puffy chest. Get out of here.
Yeah, I had a Whisper in my school. No one liked him.
So
Careless Whispers.
the end is the name of the achievement you unlock for completing chapter 1, which is told the story about becoming a knight. So this is the amount of people that have actually finished the first chapter, and that is unfortunately only 18.78% of players.
Jeez.
Again, it was a free game.
Yep.
Free game.
Yeah.
But definitely check it out. It's good. So moving on to chapter 3, just to give a little idea of how many people pressed on through that. The achievement for "And They Lived" for completing chapter 3 was only completed by 5.33% of players.
Because we haven't reached it yet. That number will go up.
At least a fraction of a
Oh,
percentage.
you have
Nice.
purchased it? You have purchased it? You have the complete collection and all that?
Yes,
Okay. So, yeah, those numbers could be skewed, too.
totally. But so to take a look at the rarest achievements in the game, we have a little bit of a weird situation in this one, because the rarest achievement in the game is a secret achievement, and this game having so many secret achievements in which I can't see which ones they are, it's tough for me to narrow that down. So the rarest achievement in the game has only been unlocked by 0.4% of players, but unfortunately, there's no way for me to tell what that is. So
At this rate, it sounds like beat all 5 chapters.
Yeah.
Am I right? Oh!
oh.
Possibly.
But the rarest achievement in the game that I can see the information on is not far off. It's called Bookdom. And this is to collect all the pages in Chapter 2. Now, Nancy, you can speak for yourself. We're in chapter 2. I haven't seen any pages.
Nor have I. And we're kind of toward the end of 2. So
I think so.
This is why the very few people get all the pages. Maybe that's at the next gathering.
Yeah.
We'll get a book or something.
Hopefully we find Cirrus with his blue pages.
Blue pages. A revisit.
I cannot wait.
Oh, please.
But the Bookdom achievement
Booked him.
has...
Damn near killed him.
Yeah. But that has been completed by only 0.93% of players.
Please.
So big shout out to you overachievers out there who have that.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a big sore thumbs up for you. How'd y'all like that? I've been taking that out for a test drive.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's the show. Thank you very much for that, Overachievers Eagle. Keep it coming every week. We really have a lot of fun with that and illuminating, as always. I suppose this is the time we go into the contact info. I want to run down Nancy's info and thank her so much for coming and hanging out and being a goof with us in this party chat this week. Thank you, Nancy.
All you have to do is call me. I will be here next week. It was great fun.
She is the streaming eagle.
That's cute.
Eagle Mom Nancy. Give us your link, and I'll put in the liner notes as well, of course. But let's get that info one more time from you, pretty please.
Okay. Well, you can find me on Facebook. You can look me up, Nancy J. Aguiar. That's spelled Aguiar, and that's the author page, and that's where you can find me. Be happy to get to know you.
And what's the title?
5 Drops is the name of the book.
5 Drops. Thank you, Nancy, published author.
You're welcome.
And for us, we are published podcasters, and we are the besties. We are edgy stances. We are edgy stances. We are Best Jacob Alive 2, Best Jacob Alive 3 on PS4, Best Eagle Alive, and Mr. Doo-Doo Man on the Xbox. Where can we find you, boys? You run it down for us.
Again, PUBG has legitimately taken over my life. If you see me streaming, I will be on Mixer. That's where you will see me.
He's a lot of fun to fun.
And
He's seriously a lot of fun to watch.
It's at Edgy Stances.
I mean, he's my buddy and my stream entertainer, and those are 2 occupations in my life that I take very seriously. So yeah, check him out.
It's very fun watching him on there. And yeah, you can find me, Eagle, at Xbox, Twitter, or Mixer under Best Eagle Alive. Yeah, I think me and Mama Eagle are going to try and run some King's Quest streams. We need to finish this one up. If nothing else, just help the achievement numbers on it.
That's it.
Just bring those up.
Yes.
You're their only hope.
Yeah, do a before and after. Come back to it when you guys get these achievements and tell us if you guys skewed the numbers more.
Yeah, I'm gonna create a whole bunch of alt accounts and just start the game a whole bunch and at least get the first couple achievements.
Yeah.
Well, we are edgystances.com. Man, that rolls off the tongue. That's some good stuff. You can write us and edgystances@gmail.com. You can find us at Twitter at edgystances. You can find us on streaming services such as Mixer and Twitch at, spoiler alert, /edgystances. Or is that /? How does it go? I'm not a hacker.
It's forward. Or it's back. It's back.
/
Oh, so you're a hacker. Okay, move in. Move in.
I got
this tape is
hat.
going to be used as evidence, by the way. Anyway, getting back to it, yeah, edgystances.com. We have a YouTube up now, and making it easier to share and just peep episode game, so to speak, a lot easier. I think we're going to do a Facebook. So if you're listening to us out there, please gear up for a Facebook. Follow
Basically,
us.
all this
do
to
all
say,
that stuff.
just look for us on your favorite social media. Wherever you consume your content, we'll
yeah,
try to be there for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a noob at podcasting. I can't help being a goober. So we're getting this all set up. And thank you. Rate and review us on iTunes. That always helps. But tell a friend is the best.
Mm-hmm.
The best.
You really
and
are.
remember, y'all. No, you are, Nancy. You are.
Oh, the greatest.
And like Nancy, y'all better stay ambered.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
You guys have the best day you've ever had.